Most musicians don't get stuck because they're not talented. They get stuck because they're in their own head. If you're tired of getting stuck, then this might be the most important lesson you will ever learn in music. I'm Brandon with Megatonic Audio, and today I'm going to show you how to never overthink your music again. Let's get into it. All it took was one simple truth, and it is simple, that got me out of overthinking anything in music creation and production. It has helped me so much with speed, confidence, and just overall results with what I've done and what I continue to do. But I am an overthinker. I'm the worst overthinker. I'm the overthinker that always hears people online that's always talking about how, oh, I'm such an overthinker and it's the bane of my... No, you're not. I'm the kind of overthinker that is overthinking more than other overthinkers for sure. I've met so many people that are like, oh, I'm an overthinker too. No, you're not. Not like me, you're not. I am crippled by it in so many ways, or at least I was, because in music, this bled over to other facets of my life, but I learned it in music and it changed everything. And I learned this from somebody at the top level of music production. His name is Vance Powell. Many of you that are into music production already know who that is. Insane engineer and producer. Insane. He is one of a kind. He has his own sound, and nobody can quite get the sound that he does. It's like magic. It's crazy. And this isn't something he sat down one day with me to just tell me this priceless knowledge, this priceless advice, this wisdom. He said it all the time in different contexts. But he lives it in his music, right? He lives it in his production of music. And the first time he mentioned this concept to me, it did make me nervous as an overthinker because I want everything to be perfect. That fear of not being perfect, not being right, that insecurity really flared up when he said this. But it took me hearing it several times and then seeing him put this into practice that really made it set in, I need to do this. And also a pivotal moment in my production career that forced me into this. But what he said was one simple thing, one simple concept. It can be boiled down to one word: commit. That is not what you want to hear. If you know what I'm getting at, it's not what you want to hear as a perfectionist or somebody who's scared of being imperfect, rather. You like your option. You like the ability to change things. But this guy worked in an environment where he had to commit because that's the way he did things. He set it up that way. So many of his clients would record to tape. That is a pain to edit. If you've ever done it, I doubt anybody watching, at least early on in my channel, I doubt anybody watching has ever edited tape. I've done it and it sucks. I hate it. I'm full agreeance that digital is better for editing, but it's only better in that it gives you ease of use and you can redo things. You can redo an edit. Tape, you take a razor blade to the tape and you cut it. And then you did it. And then you have to splice everything up and tape it back together and all this stuff. And you have to cut it in the right spot. And that is the trickiest part. Whereas a mouse, you can point and click and zoom and you cut it between samples. But those options have facilitated these fears that we have of being imperfect because we haven't had to commit to things. Now, Vance will, now when you watch him, if you ever get a chance to hear him speak at a audio convention, I don't know if he does those at like NAMM or something, or any YouTube interviews he does. He's got a confidence now with everything he commits to because he's so seasoned and knows his gear and his room and a lot of the musicians even that he uses so well that he's not worried about not getting a great sound. He can get it. He knows how to do it. I saw him from that perspective too. I was like, well, he's so seasoned. But I'm telling you, committing what you do, just making yourself commit to something works. It's very simple. But it's scary to anybody like me that's either a perfectionist or really somebody that's scared of being imperfect. That's scary if you know what committing implies. Committing means that you are just making a decision. You're not taking too much time to weigh all the different things you could do with this instrument here or all the different melodies I could have, and there's so many options. Well, which ones do I choose? Make yourself choose something and move. If you do that, I'm telling you, it's a wild ride for anybody who's like me and strives for perfection and is really beat up when you don't get there. But you will discover so many more things in music, so many better tones, so many accidents that end up being awesome if you just commit things. And you'll also, of course, discover a lot of ways not to make music, a lot of things you shouldn't have done, but move on, right? Commit and just trust it. In the words of Daniel Ricciardo, I'm probably butchering this quote, maybe it's not exact, but he said, sometimes you got to lick the stamp and send it. That's a great quote to remember if you're a quotes person and that's how you remember concepts. Sometimes you just got to lick the stamp and send it. And that is what committing is. That's the way Vance means it. He means just make a decision. If you got a session, put this through that piece of gear. If you think it's going to work, then just do it and move on. You don't have all the time in the world. You don't. We have all the options in the world, but we don't have all the time in the world. And you will get so much further along from learning from your mistakes, and especially the happy accidents that happen when you commit to stuff, than you ever will with fiddling around with everything for way too long, and you probably won't even come out with anything. Vance's environment is set up to make you commit. He still does a lot of things to tape. That's commitment. Tape is hard. Anybody that's watching, or maybe not while the channel's so new, but later, if anybody watches this and they've edited tape, they know that that is hard. Editing tape, I've done it. It sucks, and I hate it. It is so much pressure, especially, again, if you're an overthinker, if you are afraid of messing up, it's the worst, and digital is your friend in that sense. But you need to make decisions when you're recording, when you're writing, when you're trying to come up with something, and you can't quite figure something out. Just make a decision. Make the decision and move on, commit. It's a wild ride for anybody who's like me, any overthinker, perfectionist, whatever. It's pretty crazy, but you get to the point, the more you do it, where it's almost a thrill. And now I kind of love doing it. It's crazy. It feels crazy. And that's what I love about it. It turns you into a bit of a thrill seeker. And then you'll wonder what else, what other crazy things can I do? And when I finally put this into practice, it was really only because I had to. I had to do this one day. I was at Sputnik, and I was recording a band by myself. It was for an artist. We had, studio musicians coming in. I was in charge at that point of that session because it was mine. It wasn't a Sputnik client. It was just mine. But I was able to use a studio to record this artist, to record 10 or 11 songs, maybe 10. And in this one, this was Mitch's studio, so Mitch and Vance are Sputnik Sound. And on Mitch's side, his console only had a select number of channels. Well, when you like to mic everything up and get the most sound you can out of everything, especially drums, there can be like 10 mics on drums. You got your close mics and then the different room mics and 2 kick mics. You got your overheads for stereo. Maybe you throw a mono hub. You have all these different things just for drums, right? And then you have other instruments to worry about in each song. But you all got to record it at the same time if you're recording the band live. And that's what we were doing. So to do that, I had to sum some of those microphones, summing, like combining the signal into one channel. I had to combine those signals into one channel to make them fit on the console. It was a small console. That made me commit. I didn't have the option to mess with the balance of the kick in versus the kick out sound on the signal on the way it hit Pro Tools, which is what I was recording to. I was not recording to tape. So when I got into Pro Tools, I had one kick signal. So I had to get that balance just right in the room before we recorded while we were getting sound check, and then just commit and trust it. This is the balance, I think. Instead of having a bunch of different tracks, I had like 16 to work with in total. But that also sped up my process because then I realized it actually does sound good, just raw without being mixed. The raw recordings actually do sound good. And then I realized, man, I would have been fiddling so much with all the different balances rather than, kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, overhead mono, and then the stereo. And then because I had some different things, like two guitar amp mics, when I sum them into one signal and just made sure I got it at least good enough for the day on the way in, it was fine. I didn't have to worry about so much balancing. That's when it really clicked. Okay, Vance, you're right, even for somebody like me. If you just make decisions, if you start doing stuff crazy like that, sum things down to one channel. You got 3 kick mics, a kick in, a kick out, and then like a lavalier for the tacky front head, the batter head. Get the balance, sum it into one, see what happens. You'll be surprised at how decent it sounds, even at first. Some things you'll get wrong. Most of it won't be unfixable. It'll be good enough to be like, yeah, I can get a good mix out of that. You got to just make yourself commit and move on. You will save time. You will save a lot of worry, because the more you keep committing and moving on, you're thinking about the next thing before you worry a little bit, but it'll be in the back of your mind. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing crazy commitment and I don't know. It's not going to be like that. Just stay focused on what you're doing. Over time, committing gets a lot easier. Now, I love doing it. Like I said, it's a thrill. I like to see that, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can sum these things down. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to look back. And it sounds crazy to some of you, but it's not. I promise it'll help you. It is the single best advice I've ever gotten in any sort of production-related topic, and it bleeds over into life. Don't overthink everything. Some things require more thinking than others, but overthinking is the enemy, and it will cripple you. Commit and move on. If you like this video and you want to hear more about topics like this, music production, all that good stuff, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Even comment below, let me know your thoughts. But all that helps me grow this channel, which I've started pretty recently, and I'm trying to grow so I can get to more people like you about topics like this. And also, if you're an artist or a band that's still stuck with some of your music and you're looking for the right producer to help get you past that stuck point and get your songs produced remotely at the top level, I'm your guy, I'm your producer. Click the link below and it'll take you to a landing page with a video explanation of how my remote process works for production, and also a short inquiry form so that I can get some information about what you're trying to do with your project, so that then we can move on from there. All right. But anyways, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you take this advice to heart. I know it's scary, but you can do it if I can do it. Trust me, if I can do it, you can. I'm the worst overthinker of them all, and it even helped me, and it helped me a lot. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you next time. Y'all be good.